bless you in the name of Jesus. The video will be out now as we have planned. Today we want to talk about the comparison mentality. And by the way of introduction, I would like to tell everyone that you should stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to others. We live in a time where everybody wants to be a public figure. Pardon me for saying this, but every single person who has a private account spend their time posting things and commenting things just to create an image and a projection that may bear no resemblance. And Jesus' brother put him aside and said, we've got a great idea. Why don't you show the world who you really are? And the most interesting thing about this chapter of the Bible, John chapter 7, is in the verse 5, where it shows that Jesus' brothers did not even believe in him. And since they didn't believe in him, they were trying to make him to perform. And I want you to know that anytime you have unbelief in your heart, it will cause you to perform just to prove something that you're not, and in which you yourself, you don't really believe. In psychological term, it is called the inferiority complex, or some call it the imposter syndrome. And it speaks about how many of us have the inability to internalize our strength and our accomplishment. Psychologists call it the imposter syndrome because they say that many of us deep down in ourselves think that we're a fraud. Many of us secretly deep down think we have less to offer than what people expect from us. And that even when people compliment us, we feel that the reason why they are complimenting us is because they don't really see us for who we are. And if they ever saw us for who we are, if they ever saw how stupid we feel, if they ever saw how inexperienced we are, if they can see how awkward we can be, they will just kick us out of the room. It happens to fathers, it happens to mothers, it happens to leaders, it happens to teenagers, it happens to we youth. It's called the fear of being found to be less than what people thought you were. It's the fact that keeps you in the performance mode. It is the fear that keeps you spending money to look like something important, because deep down in yourself you are afraid that you are really not. It is the fear that keeps you overcompensating, and you get into a situation, and rather than letting people be the center of attention, you feel the need of overcompensate. You feel the need to show how intelligent you are, because deep down inside yourself you feel you are not good enough, because people think you are a crook and you're not, and you're scared and shared between the conflict of who they thought you are or who they think you're supposed to be and who you really are. It's called the imposter syndrome. It means sometimes as I'm trying to fulfill my purpose, I feel like I'm fake. It's not that I am an hypocrite. It's not that I am insincere. It's just that deep down inside, I am a man who sometimes feel like a little boy, a preacher who feel like a sinner. I want to be wise, but sometimes I feel like a fool. And I'm wondering if there is anybody here who lately has been under the pressure of an expectation. And when you feel that temptation and the tendency is to prove it. I need to prove that I'm a good dad. I need to prove that I'm a good mom. I need to prove that I'm a good preacher. I need to prove that I'm a good leader. I need to prove that I'm a good youth above my contemporaries. Listen, you don't have to prove it. It takes the joy out of it. See, Jesus didn't just want to perform miracle. He don't just want to do it for the show. he was going to Judea, but he wasn't going to make an spectacle. He wasn't just going to show the world who he was. He didn't just want to do it for the fame. And he said something. He said, I'm not going to do anything in Judea just to prove myself. That is going against my father's rule. It will look somehow weird. Everybody get the experience of performance anxiety because we always want to perform, especially with the youth. You make a meal for your family, it doesn't count until you make an Instagram story out of it. It's a main thing to talk about. It's killing us, especially with the youth. Jesus said, if I go to Judea for the wrong motive, and if I go with the wrong move, if I live my life to perform for others than to live for my Father, it will kill me. The religious leaders were waiting to kill Jesus. But I'm wondering, what is trying to kill you today? He said that he purposely stayed away from Judea. What do you purposely need to stay away from in this season of your life? You and I, this is a question we need to answer. What do you purposely need to stop thinking about? Who do you purposely need to stay away from? Who do you purposely need to stop comparing yourself to? You need to do away, you and I, we need to do away with this comparison mentality. Stop looking at successful people and start asking yourself, what am I doing on earth? It's killing us, especially with the youth. The problem is not what you're seeing. You are just putting on yourself a burden that you are not meant to bear just because you are trying to compare yourself to someone with a different calling. You're bearing some pains today, not because you deserve those pains, but you are trying to put yourself in the shoe of someone with a different calling. Jesus said, I'm not going to Judea because you want me to go there. You don't need to post it to prove it. Jesus said, I don't need to turn stones into bread to prove that I am the Son of God. I live out of purpose, not for popularity. I live out of purpose, not for the praises of men. I live just for the praise that can come from God. And I need you and I to understand that we need to content ourselves. We need to be sufficient enough to stay in Galilee, to remain quiet, and to allow God to make the best out of us. And I know it's a new day in the name of Jesus.